Hello and welcome once again to another episode of Open Talk. In today's episode, our guest is the founder of Lift Strength and Conditioning Center and the Bahrain Boxing Club, Tarek Abdulrahman, and he will talk to us about the center. Welcome to our show, Tarek.
Thank you very much indeed for having me along today.
Tarek, to start with, can you tell me about Lift, Bahrain, and as well about the Bahrain Boxing Club?
Sure. So what the concept is we have two enterprises under one roof. So Lift Strength and Conditioning Center is our commercial program, and it's a strength and conditioning facility. And Bahrain Boxing Club is our competitive boxing club that's located under the same roof that utilizes both sections. One is not for profit and one is commercial. So Lift Strength Conditioning Center is a commercial center, and Bahrain Boxing Club is our not-for-profit program to boost the interest in boxing in Bahrain and to provide Bahrainis with an opportunity to pursue the sport to a high level.
So what made you come up with this idea?
I've always been into sports. I've played soccer, track, and I've boxed for many years since I was a kid. And you know, I was actually in corporate. I was a legal consultant for many years, and decided that I would take a hiatus and reconsider what I wanted to do in my future. And I felt, you know, going back to my passion was in sports. It was kind of a little bit more about who I was. And so I just I invested a little bit of money, started small, and we've grown to what we've become today.
Well, mashallah, you have done a great job.
Thank you.
So tell me about the boxing club. You told me it's a non-profit organization.
Yes.
So what do you exactly do?
So we provide classes through membership, and once people who display a high level of skill or a high level of interest in the sport, we invite them to attend our Malakim Scholarship Fund. Malakim in Arabic obviously means boxer. And what we do is that we fund the training, the outfitting, and the fight progression of young Bahrainis to further their career in boxing. So the way that we do this is twofold. We donate through our own organization, through their own commercial enterprise, through Lift Strength and Conditioning Center, into the program, and then we run charity fight nights that are attended by people of all walks of life, and through the takings from that, we invest it into the program, which gets invested into our Bahrainis.
So I believe you have an upcoming event, which is the 4th black tie fight night, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of background on what our fight nights are. So we get people who have never boxed before. In our center we always have highly qualified coaches. Our current coach is Coach Camiso. He's a 3-time Olympian, a 3-star AIBA coach, and we have other local coaches who help and donate their time. So people come in, they've never boxed before, and they train for 3 months, usually about 12 weeks, leading up to our black tie fight night. So they invite all their friends and family to come along, who purchase tickets, and proportion of the income from the tickets goes to local charity donations and into the scholarship fund. So.
And how successful has it been so far?
So far we've seen a steady progress. From Fight Night 1 we were obviously feeling out the situation. We'd never had any experience in event management. We never had any experience in running a boxing show. And thankfully it went well, and it was a great springboard into Fight Night 2, Fight Night 3 and Fight Night 4, where we are now. And we've seen a steady increase in numbers of people, both people attending and people interested in taking part. So yeah, so far so good.
That's good, that's great. So if I may ask you, can you tell me how important is the sports field, as we have seen a lot of youth are into sports nowadays? How important is it?
Well, it's very important. You know, I think especially the atmosphere in Bahrain right now over the last few years has been heading towards these type of sports. I think definitely through His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, once he introduced you know, such a high interest in mixed martial arts, himself competing, and pushing Bahrainis to compete and to be involved in these sports. We ourselves were obviously a little bit motivated and galvanized by that, and we took a step towards that. So I think the society in Bahrain is becoming more aware about fitness, and more aware about their diet, about well-being, and about being involved in competitive sports. So for us, it's actually a very easy sell because Bahrainis already are very willing to enter into these fields.
So about the fight night, is it only men that have, or females?
No, absolutely not. We definitely encourage both men and women to attend. Our last fight night, we had 2 female fights. Both were Bahrainis, which was fantastic. We were, exceptionally proud to host them and to train them and push their interest and their progress in boxing. Thankfully, this time we have, I believe, 3 female fights.
Nice.
Obviously, there are 6 boxers there, and I believe 4 of whom are Bahrainis, they're local people. So we're absolutely fantastically proud of that. And obviously, we have expatriates who are involved, and then Bahraini men and women also. So it's great. It's a great way that to bring people together. Bahrain's a very multicultural place, and it's definitely evident in the gym. When you come in, it's very multicultural. Everybody gets along. But when we get into business and we're training, nationality and everything else is out the window, and everybody works really, really hard because everybody knows that these evenings are for charity, and they're there to raise funds for our boxing club and our boxers as well.
Of course, that's a very amazing initiative.
Thank you.
So we'll get out of the topic a bit. As we know, Ramadan is coming up.
Yes.
And some people are like they don't want to exercise in Ramadan, but some do.
Sure.
What would you like to advise them when it comes to that?
So I think with remaining healthy, maintaining a healthy weight, I think it's important to consider the balance between exercising and your diet. The two very much go hand in hand. So my advice is to eat responsibly. Eat things with a positive nutritional value, have a nicely balanced diet, and also pursue exercise responsibly. I've seen in the past people maybe work out a little bit too hard before they break their fast, and have a little bit too long to wait until they break their fast. So I definitely don't advise this, obviously, because you should keep hydrated during any sport activity. So either just before breaking your fast, moderate exercise is great, or once you break your fast, wait a couple hours and then pursuing sports is definitely good. Keeping fit during Ramadan is just as important as keeping fit out of Ramadan.
So if I may ask you, what makes boxing different than the other sports?
I think there are 2 very separate things that make boxing very different. First of all, it's the mental aspect. It's a solo sport. Once you compete in boxing, which is very different than training in boxing, and you're in the ring, you're very much alone. You're very much relying on yourself to do well. So it's very mentally demanding. You have to be very calm, very confident, very assured about your training and your abilities in the ring. And also from a physical point of view, a lot of people come in, athletes, both professional and amateur, or people who just want to get fit. And when they do pursue boxing, in the way that we coach it, they always comment on how difficult and how very different it is. It demands very different energy systems. You're using both aerobic and anaerobic systems, and it really pushes your body to the limit. It's a great way to get fit. It's a great way to lose weight. It's a great way also to learn a combat sport and defend yourself a little bit. So it's a fantastic all-round sport.
So basically, it's like all-in-one, yeah.
It's an all-in-one thing, yeah, absolutely.
So, Tarek, what would you like to say? Would you like to say any last words to everyone that's watching us tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's in boxing or not, I think everybody should at least engage in some sort of sporting activity. I would rather they focus on a sport like boxing because it's my passion. Everybody's welcome to visit us, and hopefully very, very soon we'll see Bahrainis, both male and female, competing on the international stage in the sport. So
Inshallah, hopefully, yeah. We would love to see that. Thank you, Tarek, so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Once again, our guest today was the founder and head coach of Lift Strength and Conditioning Center and the Bahrain Boxing Club, Tarek Abdulrahman. Thank you for watching Open Talk. Have a good evening.